actually present these awards and gifts. It's really very rewarding from the ILO's perspective to be seeing so much being accomplished still with SIYB. Something that began through ILO and now has gone from strength to strength. So thank you very much for inviting ILO to be here. I was here last year as well at your annual meeting, and that was a big one. I think it was 15 years last year. So I'm pleased once again to be here this year. So thank you very much to the management of the association for inviting me. Really, let me congratulate you on your success and entry into the 16th year. We like to see you grow from strength to strength. This is quite a remarkable thing that's happening in the sense that you are now 16 years old or however long. You know, the ILO is turning 100 years old this April coming up. So we're entering 100 years. A long, long history. Even before the United Nations was formed, the ILO was there looking at the world of work, how to create jobs, how to create employment, how to create peace, how to deal with the world of work. So as we're entering our 100 years, I'm particularly proud of what I see happening with the SIYB Association's work in Sri Lanka and the work it's now doing even outside Sri Lanka. Because to me that's really a success story of what the ILO started with a little bit of investment with our tools, and you have run with it. So I hope we can work a bit more in the coming year to also showcase your work as a success of ILO's partnership with you and as a local organization. So for those of you, I mean, you're all trainers and know about SIYB, but it's currently the largest global business management and entrepreneurship training program with a focus on starting and improving business as a strategy for creating more and better employment for both women and men. It's been around for about 30 years, 3 decades of experience, and the outreach of SIYB around the world and all of its associated training modules, they're available in 40 languages. So it's quite, again, a very remarkable achievement, and obviously there's a real demand for the kind of training and entrepreneurship development skills that SIYB actually offers. So it's centered under the Enterprise Department of ILO, and our headquarters are in Geneva, and it globally promotes this business development, etc., job creation, entrepreneurship, and particularly the growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises. Of course, productive employment, decent work, especially for youth, especially for people also with disabilities, women, are key features. And why is that important? I think if you look at just even Sri Lanka and most countries in the world, you see that the informal sector, you know, not everyone can get an office job, a 9-to-5 office job. So many people are working without the kind of protections or knowledge on how they can actually become entrepreneurs, start their business. So something like the SIYB training really gives so much opportunity and inspiration for local entrepreneurs of all varieties to find decent work and to be self-employed and start their own business and help create more employment as a result. So it really deals with the challenge that many countries, especially in Asia, face of such huge informal sectors as well. So those of you that were here last year, remember I mentioned that we were, ILO in Sri Lanka was planning to finalize and work on its new Decent Work country program. And I'm very happy to report that now it's been launched, the next 5-year one. It started this year in May. And because one of its key focus is also going to be on protecting workers and promoting employment in the informal sector. And this really requires strategic thinking. Our country program is calling for more diversification, the application of technology, and value additions as a way forward for small, micro, medium enterprises to sustain themselves, to be resilient, not just in terms of market and volatility, but also in terms of climate impact. So things like the green economy is a very key feature of our new Decent Work Country program. Of course, the future of work, how digitalization might be impacting, as well as the persistent problems of very low female labor force participation in Sri Lanka. So all of these are elements that we will be focusing on quite hard in the next 5 years, and I see a direct link to the kind of work of SIYB in promoting very much the actualization of this. So I don't see this partnership ending. I see it evolving further as we graduate to this next level, also from our side, but also you as an association that is so strong in all of Asia at this point. I also wanted to share a few words at this point on one ILO flagship program where we really hope to make a real impact on the lives of women, youth, and people with disabilities. And this is very key for Sri Lanka. It's the flagship program called Jobs for Peace and Resilience. And this is a quite a comprehensive program, and it really tries to focus on the creation of entrepreneurship enterprises to be able to create peace dividends. So people are, if they're employed and if they're well employed and if they're gainfully employed and making good money, they're more empowered financially, economically, and that creates confidence and also promotes peace. But also the resilience side, which is from the climate side, because as you know, you have a lot of drought for many years now in the north of the country. You have a lot of floods for many years. It's a cycle of floods and droughts and other kinds of natural or man-made disasters and climate effects, and it really affects the island of Sri Lanka in many ways immediately more severe than many other places. So the ILO is going to really focus and promote to show an impact of how jobs for peace and resilience can be seen as a good model for expansion and take up by the government as well as through associations like yours. I would like to also congratulate, I think, SIYB and for already seeing further a vision of how you can expand your partnership with the Department of Manpower and Employment in the Ministry of Labor is very good. I see that as a way that those trainers also can, you can have the multiplier effect as opposed to just, through one vehicle. And that's precisely the type of partnerships and influence and ripple effect and etc. that we're looking for. So we also see a very strong role going forward with SIYB Association, particularly in the areas affected by a very long conflict, which is trying to rebuild, but also areas affected by climate change in particular, and those particular populations in those areas as well. So I'm going to stop here, but I want to just say once again, I on behalf of ILO, my colleague here Farzan, who has worked with you also for many years, we really do appreciate this partnership. We see so much potential for the kind of positive impact you can make through the kind of work you do. It's really a pivotal role, and the ILO is very proud to be continuing our association and to building and evolving our association with the SIYB Association of Sri Lanka. So thank you very much, and I hope it's a very successful annual general meeting.
Players in Sri Lanka to fulfill certain objectives of those country programs.